53 days, 12 hours, 21 minutes and 3,000 miles across the ocean. South African Greg Moore arrived in Antigua and crossed the finish line of the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, known as the world's toughest row. Greg finished in 16th place, beating 10 other teams to the finish line. But Greg was not doing this for fame or glory. He took on the challenge to raise money for streetlight schools, helping to improve educational opportunities in South Africa. He's right here with us right now. South African rower, solo rower across the Atlantic Ocean. Greg Moore, good morning and welcome to Newsroom.
Good morning. Thank you, Kendall.
I think it's when we first heard that you'd arrived back across the finish line and you'd be available to talk to us this week. I thought, oh, cool, the guy's been back across this transatlantic row for some time. When did you actually get back to solid ground?
I arrived in Antigua on the 11th of Feb, so it's taken a little while to transition back from there and get back home.
Oh, that's pretty fascinating, because I think we need to actually get an understanding of what you've just done. You crossed the Atlantic Ocean from Africa all the way to the Americas.
Effectively, yes, that's right. The start was at La Gomera in the Canary Islands, and finished some 3,000 nautical miles, or just over 5,000 kilometers later, in Antigua. And
you were rowing the whole way?
That's right, rowing the whole way.
You must have some serious calluses.
I do. I've got some, although in the last 10 days my hands have started to heal a little bit, so not quite as much as I had a few days ago.
Wow, you definitely make a very good hand model for something along the artisan route. What makes this the world's toughest race? Besides the fact that it really hurts your hands, hurts your body, what makes it so tough?
Rowing the Atlantic, it's the distance. It's 5,000 plus Ks. The weather and conditions are always unpredictable. You never really know what you're going to get. You just have to deal with what's dealt to you. And maintaining yourself and your equipment all really add to the challenge.
And while doing this race, are you in communication with anyone? Are you talking to people? Are you in radio comms with people? How is it that you communicate? Because you've got a support team, I suppose, yes?
A support team back at home, but really once you reach the end, no outside assistance at all. So you're entirely self-contained. In terms of communications, you're typically too far away from any other ships, vessels or land to use radio, but I did have a satellite phone on board, so I was able to keep in touch using that.
Well, now that we've established how tough this race really was, let's get an understanding. Why do this?
I've always loved the personal challenge of events like this. Rowing an ocean has to be one of the great classic adventures, like climbing Mount Everest, like skiing to the poles, and so from a personal perspective, have always loved to challenge myself and test what I'm able to do, and at the same time really wanted to use this row to try and help others as well. And so there's a charity aspect where we've been trying to raise awareness and funds for a fantastic organization called Streetlight Schools, based here in Johannesburg.
And how did you get to talk about Streetlight Schools? Why them specifically? Because 53 days to be rowing. Why that particular series of schools? Why that one?
I've just always felt very passionate about education as a means of creating opportunities for people, for our children, and investing in the future of our country. And Streetlight Schools has developed a really innovative approach to delivering quality primary education at a fraction of the cost of the traditional model.
Do any of the students actually get what you've done? Do they actually get to see it? Are there videos that you showed?
I haven't been back long enough to have gone into the school just yet, but I'm hoping to go in and give them a bit of a talk about the row.
Yeah, because one of the things that because just now we had a view of a little bit of a graphic showing the map from the Canary Islands all the way to Antigua. I'm hoping that we can bring it up again, because there it is, and I'm hoping that when you take them through maybe a geography lesson, you can take them through some of the conditions, the distance, all the things that you experienced on your way through there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that certainly my wife and I have two kids, and I know that at their schools they in fact were following the row quite closely, and I think their geography class was using it as a bit of a case study to understand latitude and longitude, and look at things like that. So there's certainly enough different aspects to a row like this that it'll be great to share it with the kids,
sure.
and hopefully help inspire a few.
And now you're inspiring us and some of our viewers, I hope. Like, just before we close off, I think it would be key to get a little bit of advice from you, because there must have been a whole host of challenges that you experienced, that you conquered on this journey. What kind of advice would you be giving somebody that wants to do this kind of thing, for either for fitness or for personal growth or for charity as well? What kind of advice would you give?
Yeah, the advice that I'd give is preparation. Prepare as rigorously as you can. It's a huge challenge. Things will go wrong, so as carefully as you plan, also be ready to be flexible, be ready to adapt. But believe in yourself. It's a huge challenge. It was a huge challenge for me. But one of the things I think that I've certainly seen and learned through this is that we are, I think, all capable of so much more than we perhaps believe we are. That I'd encourage people to go out there and challenge themselves in whichever way they'd like to.
Greg Moore, thank you so much for taking the time to see us. I know there are a whole bunch of people that want to see you. They want to shake your hand, pat you in the back and say, how did you do it? Welcome back to the land of the living. You've been gone for 53 days. Well done, sir. And there's a video of you out in.
Thank you very much, Kendall. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Greg Moore there, right there, a solo rower completing the world's toughest row. And I'll have you know, he told me that there's some people still out there. They'll probably only finish in about 10, maybe even 20 days. Now